Hi there. Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Higgs. I am Higgs, aka Wahiga. My name is Wahiga and I'm an alcoholic. I also struggle with bipolar type 2 disorder, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I want to talk about a serious topic, and I've been getting a lot of inboxes and a lot of you guys have been asking me, how do I get help? Or I don't know if I'm an alcoholic, but I'm having problems with drinking. So basically, I want to call the title of this video, How Do I Know If I'm an Alcoholic? And the first thing is that being an alcoholic is not a bad thing, right? So let's destigmatize that right now. Being an alcoholic is not a bad thing. As I have told you, my name is Wahiga and I am an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic in recovery, and I actually have 4 years and 5 months sober, only by the grace of God, right? By the grace of God and the AA program. Now, to distinguish yourself as an alcoholic, it's not rocket science. If you feel that you have a problem with alcohol, you can say that you have a drink problem. If you try to put down a drink and you find that you cannot, if you try to put down a drink and it bothers you mentally, it bothers you physically, it bothers you spiritually, you probably do have a problem with alcohol. You have a dependency with alcohol. Whether you put it down but you're constantly thinking about it, whether you put it down and you're constantly craving it, whether you put it down but you're always fighting or finding reasons as to why you're not an alcoholic. Like, no, but I can't be an alcoholic because I show up to work. No, I can't be an alcoholic because I am there for my kids. No, I can't be an alcoholic, surely. I mean, I pay my rent. No, I can't be an alcoholic. I have a business. No, I can't be an alcoholic. I graduated. You know, when you find yourself making excuses for why you're not an alcoholic, chances are you're probably an alcoholic, because a normal person doesn't ever ponder if they are an alcoholic or not. You know, if a normal person has perhaps overreached the mark with alcohol, themselves will be able to bring back the reins and be like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna detox or just stay off booze for like a year. It's not gonna be a problem to them. But for someone who's attached to alcohol, it's going to be a problem. Now, there's different levels or severities of the disease of alcoholism, you know. So I can give you my experience of my alcoholism disease and how it progressed, because being an alcoholic, it's a progressive disease. I didn't come out the womb just with mzinga and going woo, I'm the life of the party, I'm an alcoholic. That's not how it happened. It starts off with one sip turns to one glass turns to two drinks turns to mzinga. Before you know it, now things are wayward. So I won't tell you my whole story, but I'll tell you that how I know is I'm an alcoholic is a couple of things. First of all, alcohol did something for me that alcohol normally does not do for a normal person. Alcohol, when I used to ingest alcohol, it made me come alive, right? It made me come alive. It was like the missing link in my life. I felt automatically happy and at peace and serene. And when I ingested alcohol, it used to make me feel like now I'm in control. Now I can think. Now I can function. Alcohol used to change my personality like this. So when I'm sober, my personality is mostly sullen. I'm an introvert, so I normally keep very quiet. I like to stay by myself. I'm somewhat shy. I'm not that outgoing, right? I don't like to talk to too many people. I'm extremely sensitive, right? That's my personality. But when I ingest alcohol, a switch happens. All of a sudden, I come out to play. You know, this other side of Wahiga comes out to play. And I am all over the place. I talk a lot. I carouse a lot. I'm everywhere, you know. And it gives me this confidence, you know, liquor courage. And I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like I'm in control. I know what I'm doing. And then I have these grandiose ideas. That's when I come up with the best plans. You know, honestly, when I used to drink, I'd feel like those are the times I'd come up with the best plans. You know, when I'm getting tipsy, or when I'm at that level of being tipsy that I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it's world domination. I could be anything when I was tipsy. I could be anything. And I believed it. And then obviously I overshot the mark. I'd end up getting drunk, do silly, stupid things, and then and the next morning be extremely remorseful and wonder what the hell happened last night. You know, trying to piece the ideas of what happened last night. But in order to cover the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment of what happened the night before, and also the pain, you know, the pain of the hangover and the mental agony, because I felt like, oh, the depression has come back. Now I'm back to being old, boring, introverted Wahiga who's always in pain. When that Wahiga comes back into the picture, I don't want that. So what do I go do? I go drink more. And that's a vicious cycle. So that's how it progressed with me. You know, I used to have the one drink at the club, then drinking with the girlfriends, then drinking daily, then drinking daily around the clock, and then now just living to drink and drinking to live. Absolutely having no structure, nothing I'm doing in life, no working, no school. It's just living to drink and drinking to live. And fortunately for me, as a female alcoholic, we tend to unravel very quickly. From the time we pick up a drink to the time we hit our alcoholic bottom, those years or months happen really quickly. So it's not as prolonged as a male alcoholic. So, and that's just from my experience and what I've seen. I hit rock bottom within, I mean, my drinking was bad for 7 years. It was an issue for 7 years. So, but the last 4 years, yeah. However, I grappled with the idea of being an alcoholic for a long time. I really did, because of the stigma. I didn't want to believe that I was an alcoholic. And also at the same time, I did not want to believe that this thing that was my medicine was also my enemy. Because I could not see a life without alcohol. Everything else could be the problem, but please not my booze. Please. I wanted anything else to be the problem. It could be my environment, it could be living in Kenya, it could be my degree, it could be my relationships or lack of thereof, or my living circumstances, whatever. It could be anything, but please don't blame or touch my booze, because I never ever wanted alcohol to be the problem, because for a long time alcohol solved my problems. It took away the depression, it took away my anxiety. Alcohol gave me a reason to live for a very long time. It was my escape mechanism for a very long time. It helped me dream for a very long time. And when things were good with alcohol, things were great. But also when things were bad with alcohol, things were really bad. And I think I was in the denial process for so many years, because things were bad with alcohol for a really long time. And it's only when in 2017, when things had really gotten thick with the bottle, and God asked me two questions. One, I was, now my hangovers were like about 4 days, and I was on my third or fourth day of my hangover. And I remember my hangovers were so bad by this time. I used to puke all sorts of variations of puke. I mean, it would start off with the normal puke, then it would be a colorless puke, and then an orange puke, and then the bile. And after that, it's blood. I didn't get to that point, but I was very close to that point. And I was just feeling horrible and miserable. I was hungover. I was in a lot of pain. I was shaking. I was trembling. I was having nightmares. I was hallucinating. I was shivering, but I was hot at the same time. It's basically withdrawals. And I was just sitting in the shamba, and because I was really contemplating leaving the house with the little energy I had. I only had enough energy to take me to the nearest bar that was walking distance, because I needed to take a drink in order to function. I needed to take a drink in order to eat something. I needed to take a drink so that I could sleep. I needed to take a drink so that I could be relieved of the physical, mental, emotional torture that I was experiencing at that point. And in the shamba, I was just sitting there being beaten by the sun. And God asked me two questions in my heart of hearts. One, Wahiga, why do you think you're in the problems that you're in? And for the first time in a long time, I was honest with myself, and I said, because of alcohol. And the second question was, so are you willing to admit that probably, or just maybe, you're an alcoholic? And I was like, yes. And I just went, oh. It was one of the most liberating feelings I've ever felt in my life. Oh, I was so free. Finally, I knew what was wrong with me. I'm just an alcoholic. And I told that voice, God, if this is you, and I am an alcoholic, please get me that help today. Today, otherwise I'm going to die. And within 2 hours, that help came. And that is where I started my sobriety journey. That was in 2017 of February. Yes, I had a slip and a relapse, but my sobriety journey, the last day that I drank was the 1st of July 2017, my 26th birthday. Hence, I'm here 4 years, 5 months later, sober. And it was such a freeing experience to really get to understand who I am. And it saddens me. It saddens me to walk in this world, or especially to be in Kenya and this culture that we have of seeing alcoholics or seeing an alcoholic as a bad thing. I think that's one of the highest measures of self-awareness. Like, this person actually is very aware of what ails them. And nobody else can call you an alcoholic. It's only you that can call yourself an alcoholic. If you feel that you're an alcoholic, then you are an alcoholic. Nobody else can call you an alcoholic. I know that I am an alcoholic. I've experienced it through my experiences and through treatment and abstinence from alcohol, one day at a time, for these 4 years and 5 months. By the grace of God, I know that I am an alcoholic, but I am an alcoholic in recovery. And I know that it is possible. So don't block yourself from getting help because you think that labeling yourself as an alcoholic is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it's the most freeing thing that you can ever do for yourself. Because when I finally saw myself for who I truly was, that's when I got the help that I truly needed. And that's when I started living life. So I urge all you guys out there, don't be so harsh to judge. And embrace who you are. Embrace who you are. Guys, I also wanted to ask if you could help me, if you enjoy the content that I make, if you enjoy my channel and everything that I do here. I need help financially. So if you are able to send money or anything like that, I have formed a Mchanga fundraiser where you can send your donations if you would want. It can go a long way. So I've put everything in the description box below. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mental Wellness channel with me, Higgs Waihiga, a grateful recovering alcoholic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share, subscribe, and just thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you so much for over 800 subscribers. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. Cheerios.